Yeah, I'm going to go over fighting aging and looking at aging as a disease that may be able to be cured, period. Aging itself, cured. How's that? I mean, I like to see that happen anyway, right? But I'm going to actually have to reference some of my other videos in this because it's going to be too lengthy for me to put everything in one video on this subject. And this is something I've kind of been looking into almost like a puzzle. You know, how do you actually reverse aging per se? I think it's actually possible. And there's a number of ways to do it. Now, I know one thing with women, boy, if they would actually, is they can exchange, most of them anyway. I can speak for the majority of women probably on this deal, because if they could exchange money or fame or any for just good looks and looking young forever, number one priority would be looking good forever for many of them. Many of them anyway. Now, I want to go over the first thing, actually, that's not well known, and I actually have a separate video on it, but it's from another angle, is selenium supplements. Selenium is actually a mineral that's found in the oil that's in its soil that's actually depleted in many soils. Selenium, it's a trace mineral that's essential. Now, there's different levels of selenium that say that are required, that are touted to be essential to the body by, depending on the source. If it's the U.S. government, they'll tell you much lower amount of selenium you need. If it's a health professional that's in the alternative world for health in the alternative circles, they'll tell you a much higher dose. Like it's MCG is usually recommended, 200 MCG is usually recommended in the alternative world, maybe 300 or more. The Chinese say the toxicity doesn't get toxic till it's over 1,000 or about 1,100 MCG. If you have cancer or severe viral issues, you want to do like 800 MCG according to the alternative world. But let me put it to you this way. There's another thing, a side note with selenium, that has been extremely important in the function to maintain and grow your telomeres. Telomeres, Telomers. And those are the end pieces on your chromosomes. If you have longer telomeres, like when you're younger, it protects the information in your DNA, in your chromosomes when your cells divide, so the cells can keep dividing and dividing and dividing, because you're actually, most of your body, depends on what part of the body it is, it gets replaced all the time. Like your skin is only so many months old, okay? I just want to state that, okay? So I'm shedding some light on a situation here from other angles. A lot of people don't know about the selenium importance also for life extension itself. Now, anything that usually is very important for anti-cancer or antiviral usually is associated with life extension many times, okay? Now, I'm going to put down on the bottom of the information box various videos I did on some of these things, but they're not necessarily related to life extension or anti-aging or curing aging, period, where you can actually stay young forever. Now, I know this may be something women might be more interested in. I know this. That's usually the way it is. So the other thing is with selenium, it can also help increase glutathione. Glutathione is also very, very important for your brain function, and it's like a type of sulfur that you can get from certain types of foods that are usually found in meats, eggs, cooked vegetables, and a few other things. But mainly, like, you know, if you're a vegetarian, you want to probably just go with the cooked green vegetables. But there's other things that you can do besides. Another one is vitamin C. Vitamin C, you can actually run vitamin C frequencies through the Spooky 2 Rife machine. I'm going to have to point to another link on that deal, but that's kind of a theoretical thing, but there's a number of steps that they run through frequencies to prepare your DNA for change, then send the vitamin C frequency to the DNA directly, then facilitate the change and end the session. There's a sequence of frequencies that can be run remotely directly to your DNA. Now, this is a theory because I don't know any long-term experiments where people have been, you know, it's so new. I mean, you can't say do we know anybody that's been using this for the last 20, 30 years, and what's the effect? We don't know. We don't know. I've been using it sometimes, but I do know I do take now. I take massive amounts of oral vitamin C, and also I'm taking liposomal vitamin C, and I did a video on that, on how to make liposomal vitamin C, because vitamin C is extremely important to collagen health and your skin health, and actually smokers will deplete vitamin C out of their body extremely quickly. Actually, also what's important to your health is the zinc, and believe it or not, garlic, believe it or not. Now, you don't need to take raw garlic. You might want to take aged garlic from a high-quality supplement manufacturer. I take that stuff, aged garlic, where it's not going to have any other type of adverse effects that raw garlic would have, aged garlic. Very, very important actually for, well, garlic has been going back for many centuries for like treatment of many ailments, but it's also good for preserving skin beauty too. So there's a lot of various things that are kind of like interrelated. Like if something usually is strong against cancer that's natural and not like chemotherapy or radiation or something like that, but is natural, is a natural thing that's against cancer, that is usually something that will also extend your life. Like vitamin C has been, intravenous vitamin C has been touted to be very effective against cancer, like according to Dr. Linus Pauling. But it's a big-time life extender and collagen protector, because you definitely need vitamin C to reproduce your collagen. Now, there's other herbs out there that are extremely important, like Gotu Kola, which is actually, it's Gotu, G-O-T-U, Kola, K-O-T-A, Kola, K-O-L-A. And it's an ancient Chinese herb. This herbalist, one of the things he actually took, he was alleged to be over 200 years old, was this man that actually took a lot of this. He took a lot. That was one of the herbs he actually took a lot of. But I know women are actually more. Anyway, it's my survey or whatever it is, that a lot of women would like rather look like they're 20 years old forever than just die at once in their sleep when they ever their time to go. But they would like to look super young forever. I know that. So this video, I'm talking about aging as a disease, and there's a way to fight it. There is absolutely a way to fight it. Now, another thing you could do, like say you're in a dry environment, like the girl is here on a motorcycle, she's in a dry environment. Coconut oil. Coconut oil actually taken internally is extremely important for skin health, and also to put on the skin, actually, and in the hair. Coconut oil is the only thing that actually permeates the hair itself, the hair follicle itself. It's the only oil that actually permeates the hair follicle itself and protects the hair follicle. Other oils stay on the hair follicle. The hair itself, the coconut oil actually goes into the hair and nourishes it. Now, you can look at a lot of times with the islander women from the Pacific Islands are out in the weather, the sun, the harsh ocean weather, breezes, whatever it is. The coconut oil protects their skin. They'll look young for many years for that reason. But if you actually combine all these things I'm talking about, like the Gotu Kola, the vitamin C, the Spooky 2 remote treatments with the Miracle DNA Repair, I'm going to point to links on these because I did them on separate videos. And if I went through this whole thing on this video in detail, it would be many hours long. So just, as it is, this video might be a little bit longer than I expected, but I want to try to hit everything in this and refer back to other things too. Now, another thing is you can want to boost is for extra energy. You want to boost ATP. ATP is in your body. It's actually the thing that is transporting energy in and out of the mitochondria, or I think it's their energy sacs in the cells themselves, the mitochondria, the cells. Now, I know the Beck Zapper sometimes seems to help with that. I don't know what the deal is, why that is. It seems to unclump the red blood cells. Would that actually lead to anti-aging? I don't know but it does produce a lot more energy for me. I've noticed that. It's kind of amazing how that works. But there's other things you can actually do. Is take alpha lipoic acid is one. Alpha lipoic acid is actually one of the most powerful antioxidants in the world. It's a supplement. And L-acetylcarnitine, which is a protein. Usually take those in combination with CoQ10, also called the heart vitamin. But they will actually work for energy and beauty also. Now, I also want to say something else. There's something else called hyaluronic acid that actually is very powerful for anti-aging. There's been an island out in one of the there's another island actually. It's one of the Japanese villages where they call it the Village of Long Life or the Village of Youthfulness or something. And it was actually featured on NBC, and I think it was ABC News. I think it was some years ago. And they found that their diet actually is a very unique diet, even for Japan, where the foods that are grown locally have a lot of hyaluronic acid. And you can actually get hyaluronic acid cream. Hyaluronic acid is actually, it sounds like something bad, but you can actually buy the pills and you can take them. It's very good for the skin. It's very good for the fluid in the joints, like if you have joint pain or anything like that, or if you're practicing yoga or dancing or doing crazy dance maneuvers or whatever, and you feel like maybe you want to have your knees or something or fine, and you're running or exercising, having the fluid in your knees is very essential. So the hyaluronic acid kind of does a few things. Now, it's also good for the skin, and you can also get something. I'm not selling it. There's no link where you just click on a link and it gives me a penny or something. I'm just talking about I buy the stuff. I go into Puritan.com and there's hyaluronic acid cream for the skin. It's actually very high quality. It's only like, I forget the exact price. I think it's like, I don't know, $5 roughly. It's cheap, and I'm surprised how high quality it is for the price. $5, something like that. I don't know if it's exactly the same price. I buy like about 50 of them at once, so I got a stash, so I keep them on hand. And I use this stuff every day. I do. As a male, I use it every day. So, actually I don't even have too many wrinkles for somebody 60 years old even. But it's like I'm playing around with this like a game. And it's like, I don't know, I almost think that myself as an experiment, I might find that I reverse age a lot, too. And I think more women will probably be more, I don't know, the males are, this is really more designed. I don't know if this is designed for a male audience or a female audience. I know if I just put the pictures of the plants and the supplements up there, no male would ever pay attention to this video in a million years, even though they have some interest in it. So, but I know with the females, this is the competition or the ideology that you want to be looking like when you're 80 years old. So, if that could be possible. Now, the other thing is, I'm going to tell you, I've heard a lot of different stories about too much exercise, too little exercise. Now the latest thing is if you exercise a lot, that actually depletes your glutathione, and it's I don't think that's true because they flipped their mind on this too many different times. I've read stories where if you exercise over an hour of cardio, and it's not like super intense cardio, but it's in a true cardio range. And once it gets over an hour, it actually raises the human growth hormone levels in your body. It's like you got to have a happy medium. It's got to be higher level than the fat burning mode, but it shouldn't be up at 90% level of cardio rate. It shouldn't be that high. It might be about 65 to 70% cardio rate. And once you get over an hour in that actually raises the HGH in your body, the human growth levels, the growth hormone, and that can help a great deal with longevity and looking young without paying for that hormone, because you actually want to have it through the natural way versus the artificial way. There's other things too, and I should also tell you about Astragalus, Astragalus, and I'm going to put links to all these things on the bottom of my videos about some this video, because I did other separate videos on it. But that's another one that's extremely powerful for anti-aging. You know, anti-aging clinics hold that telomeres can be lengthened, and Astragalus is one of the things that can actually lengthen the telomeres, not just preserve their length. That's another one I take in an extract. I now take that every day, 3 times a day, as a concentrated extract. I just started doing that not that long ago, and I didn't know that about this herb. I knew about the herb, but I know so many things, and I have like 200 or something various, I mean, probably more than that, probably 400 various supplements here. And I sometimes miss something because I'm too concentrated on what is something else, and I'm realizing what is actually most important for anti-aging. Now, I just want to get back to the standard. I take a product called Nature's Way Alive, and Nature's Way Alive, now I don't sell this stuff, I'm not pumped, this is not a commercial, okay? I've been buying it, I've never sold it for any of these supplements for profit ever in my life. I just take them, and I read about why they're good and everything. Nature's Way Alive is probably Whole Food Energizer, is one of the most complete vitamins going. It has pretty much everything you want. Now, I'll take a little bit of extra niacin, the B6, the flush-free type, and I'll also take, in addition to that, B12. But Nature's Way Alive is one of the most powerful supplements that's super complete. It has a lot of everything in it, but I'll take more than that. But if you just take one thing, that is probably the most important vitamin supplement to take, in my opinion, bar none. It's I think it's actually made in Utah or something. It comes from the USA. Nature's Way Alive. Now, there's other things that you want to do besides for anti-aging. Is you want to keep this thing called homocysteine in check. That's the plaque in the body that builds up in your arteries and veins. It slows you down. So, like, you know, just like on your bike, if your oil lines get clogged up on your bike, if you're on your motorcycle or something. I don't know. I'm just putting this out here as a point of interest while I'm talking. The homocysteine levels are very detrimental to your circulatory system. In other words, if they build up, that's the plaque. It can actually happen at a young age. Some people have it genetically where homocysteine levels build up very fast, even if they're 100% pure vegan, even if they exercise every day, even if they never eat any fats that are bad for them, even if they are lean weight and everything. They just have it genetically where their homocysteine levels build up fast, and there is a solution to that. But homocysteine levels also is associated with your aging. Now, I put a video out on that with buying, they're very cheap too. It's like, I think there may be between both supplements for a year's supply, there might be $30 for both of these supplements. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, is one, and the other one is TMG, trimethylglycine. Now, I'm not even reading from a script here. I mean, I know this stuff inside out. You know, I could talk about this for hours, and I just want to try to present this video as, let's call it an attempt to cure aging. An attempt to cure aging with various methods. I think eventually aging is going to be looked at as a chronic disease that needs to be addressed, and just because it's never been conquered doesn't mean it can't be conquered. You know, I think it can be, to tell you the truth, because if we can lengthen the telomeres on our body and we have the available nutrients and building blocks available, and we can also use this new technology through Spooky 2 Remote to adjust our genes or our DNA as needed, I don't see why we can't just be like, not like you're going to be 200 years old and look 100 years old, but be 200 years old and look 25. Why not? Why not, right? And I think actually with a lot of people, it may have the effect of backwards aging. So I want to put out also, I want to show that link again where I did the video on the TMG and the NAC. Now I did it from the standpoint of, not anti-aging, but from the standpoint of preventing strokes and preventing, buildup in the arteries in the heart or the aorta, where it can cause you circulatory problems. But actually, that's another thing that is very, very, very strong with anti-aging. So I think we got it figured out here. And I can actually get into a lot more different things on natural alfalfa, pine ryegrasses. And also, it's very important to take all the good fats, all the good oils, like the fish oil, the borage oil, the flax oil, the hemp oil, the olive oil. But probably the number one oil is going to be coconut oil, because that's the only one that actually burns up by the body much quicker than any other oils. It's a medium chain triglyceride type fat. Besides being very good for raising the ketones in the brain, it's one of your weapons against anti-aging and fighting the terminal chronic disease called aging. And it may not be a terminal disease. It may be something that's a chronic disease that you have to constantly fight, but it may not be a terminal disease. And that's the theory I'm going to be putting out here, because I can start getting into more things about Chinese chlorella, and also milk thistle for detox, and various things like wormwood and cloves and things to remove parasites. But actually, I think people might want to look into, if they're also interested in this anti-aging, to look into Spooky 2. And I have a lot of videos on that, which is a type, I guess it's a rife machine, but it's a little bit different, I guess. It's using a remote type technology, and you might want to run some of the, I guess, the frequencies for the DNA repair, to bring in the vitamins, to bring in the essential oils frequencies, to bring in the human earth frequency, and things like that on yourself. And these might help to, alleviate or fight back the chronic condition or disease called aging. And this is exactly how I'm going to look at this, as a chronic disease, not as a something that is it has to happen. It's not going to, that's the other thing where people almost say it has to happen. Actually, what I'm going to put down, I'm going to kind of cut to the chase a little bit here, because it's been a theory, and I go into more detail about this. But if you look back in the Bible, where Noah died at age 920 years old, right? And people say that's a fairy tale sometimes. They don't believe that in some cases. But the thing is, it may be very true. It looks like the people, the human race, at one point in time did have the capability of producing their own vitamin C in the body. Now, we're not going to have gene therapy where we can have that capability again. But if you take liposomal vitamin C, that might be a major step towards going back to that way again. That's another thing. And you can also experiment with the Spooky 2 generator with the vitamin C frequencies. I don't know how strong that stuff is with the Spooky 2. It's difficult to say, because it's the remote DNA, the remote transmission of frequencies to your DNA has been around for some years, but there isn't a real lot of data to suggest, how strong it's going to be, like for things that I'm trying to talk about, where it may be a new experiment where you can remotely transfer vitamin C to your body directly to the DNA and use it for reverse aging or anti-aging. But I don't see why it wouldn't help. How's that? So let me just leave you with this thought, and I'm actually going to post some links on the bottom of this video, because I think nobody's really addressing the issue of aging as a disease itself. And it's very important to actually address it that way because, um, people have this fatalistic approach. You get old and you're going to die. And, it may not be like that. It may not be like that at all. We may be vastly improved because today we actually have not only the technology, but the know-how and the availability of all the various nutrients to probably combat the chronic condition or the chronic disease called aging. So, just want to leave you with that thought. And I've been long on this, but I can't include everything. And I'm going to put links on the bottom of the information box about some various things you can look at that you might find extremely interesting.